In this video, I'm going to show you how to navigate the Grammar Monster website. Starting in the top left-hand corner, if you click on this logo, it takes you to the Grammar Monster homepage. That's fairly standard. Over on the right-hand side, we have a hamburger icon. If you click on that, it toggles the drop-down menus on and off. This feature is particularly useful when viewing Grammar Monster on a mobile device. The drop-down menus are fairly self-explanatory. So if you hover over the glossary, what you see are the most common pages on the glossary, and then at the bottom a button that will take you to the whole A to Z. And there are over 250 entries in the glossary. It's the same deal with the punctuation one. These are the popular pages, but if you want to see them all, press the button at the bottom. It's the same with the easily confused drop-down menu. Okay, moving over to the left-hand column. Every time you're on a Grammar Monster page, the left-hand column will show you 6 pages that are either closely related or they are the previous lesson or the next lesson. So they are either sequential or related. Okay. On a desktop device, the second column has all the lesson detail. But before we talk about the format of the lessons, I want to talk about search on Grammar Monster. The quickest way to search is using the search bar at the top of the second column. This search bar searches the file names and our explanation for that lesson. So if you type the word noun, you will see all of the file names and all of the explanations that include the word noun. If you type something that isn't a file name or part of our explanation, for example, does department have a capital letter? Then you will get this option, Get Search Help, and you can click that, and there is another box which will allow you to search all of the content on every page on Grammar Monster. But the quick way to do it is using the search box at the top of column 2. Let's talk about the format of the lessons. As a rule, each lesson starts with a simple explanation and an infographic. Underneath the infographic, you will have examples and interactive widgets and videos and sliders, so more detail. Most pages, like this one, have a Why Should I Care section, and this tells you why it's important from a writer's perspective to know about that subject. Underneath that, there is a key point section, and this gives you the main takeaway or takeaways from that lesson. At the bottom is an interactive exercise. And by default, it shows you 3 randomly picked questions as a bit of a taster. But if you click Show All the Questions button, it shows you all of the questions and you can then do the whole test. These tests can be edited. You can delete questions and you can change their order. You can change the size of the font and you can create handouts. When you create a handout, it only prints the questions. It doesn't print the headers and footers on this page. And you can also send the test or your edited version of the test electronically to your students. And after they've completed the test, they will get an answer code which they can send back to you. There is a video explaining how to do this, but hopefully it's intuitive enough that you won't need to watch the video. I should just say that in order to do this, Grammar Monster does not store any of your data. All of the information is passed backwards and forward in the URLs. Let's return to the main page. The test is not quite the last thing in the main section. There is also a Help Us to Improve Grammar Monster box, and we hope you will use this if you find a typo or if there's something you disagree with on the page. Grammar Monster has been around for 20 years and we have had thousands of improvement suggestions, many of which we have adopted. And at the very bottom are some See Alsos, and these are pages that are related to the lesson you've just read. That just leaves the right hand side. The right-hand side is for grammar resources. For example, there are links to our Twitter page, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel. There's also a link to the Grammarly Grammar Checker download. And there are some advertisements for our 2 grammar books. Underneath that are links to the main pages. The last thing to say is about the tests. Every lesson on Grammar Monster has at least one test. That's the printable and sendable type. But there are more tests. If you click on the test button or select it from the drop-down menu, you will find more tests, different ones from those found on the lessons, so you can have a play with those. Another useful resource which you can find from the home page is the list of common writing errors by seriousness. So this starts with grammar mistakes that will damage your credibility, and then mistakes that will make you look careless. And underneath that, mistakes for which you'll be forgiven. And underneath that, mistakes you'll probably get away with. And underneath that, mistakes that might annoy your readers. Now these are not really mistakes. So you can see they start from the most serious to the least serious. And this might be a useful way to prioritize your reading on Grammar Monster. You might also have noticed in the footer we have the previous topic and the next topic, and that's just for sequential learning. So that's the end of this video on how to navigate Grammar Monster. Hopefully it'll help you find the resource or the answer you're looking for quicker. Thanks for watching.